Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday to you. Wow, Thanksgiving week. Thank you so much for joining me live. And if you're joining me on the replay, happy replay day to you as well. As we say, we're live and I'm excited to welcome you to today's Level Up conversation.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market updates. Award-winning financial pro. Get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hi, friends. I'm Winnie Sun, your host, Forbes contributor, CNBC council member, and award-winning financial pro, here to keep you on top of all things relevant, trending, business, news. And we are at Thanksgiving week, so it's great to be here with you. But what makes this show so special is you being here as part of our discussion, where we would like to share audience feedback throughout the show. So if you're joining me live on this very special week, do me a favor, say hello. Let me know where you're joining me from. Are you doing any special Thanksgiving traditions? A big, huge welcome to Sharon Ashley joining us on Facebook Live. Thank you, Dr. Ashley, for all that you do for so many of us. It's great to see you here. And of course, Joshua, CrossX Fighter, joining us on YouTube Live. Always a treat. Appreciate you being here. And yes, happy Tuesday. And Carlos, see you also on YouTube Live, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're joining us from beautiful Southern California. And wow, what a great week, right, Carlos? What a great week to be celebrating Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. It's all upon us. I can't believe this year has passed by so quickly. 2022 is definitely not a slow year. Let's start and tell you some good news. Let's start with the market, tell you how it closed. The Dow closed up almost 400 points, up 397 points. I know those of you are watching, looking at your 401k, you're like, whew, feeling good. This is good, Winnie. Let's keep it up. All right. NASDAQ is also up about 150 points at 149 and the positive, and S&P also up at 53. Much to be thankful for this Thanksgiving week, right? Like I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here with all you. Now, as many of you know, this is going to be a very special week. The market's done very well today. Will continue. Well, that's yet to be seen. But we do know one thing that's certainly going up, and that is the cost of Thanksgiving. For those of you who are celebrating this very important holiday here in the United States, do know that the cost of your Thanksgiving dinner probably has gone up. Now, if you're the one cooking, you already noticed it, because if you're like me, you probably got your groceries early. If you didn't, good luck going to stores right now. They are very much crowded. In fact, my husband helped me pick up some groceries yesterday, and he said it was pretty ugly out there. So if you go out there, be safe, be patient, and keep your sense of humor. But the average cost of the American family Thanksgiving this year has increased by more than 20%. This is according to the American Farm Bureau Federation. And if you remember, just a few weeks ago, I talked about the increase on the actual turkey itself being over 70%. That's right. The turkey is costing way more. In fact, this year, it's inspired me not to cook turkey this year. I plan to cook duck this year. I'll let you know how it turns out, but my family's pretty excited about it because we like duck. I'm just going to try to make a roasted duck. Let's see how it turns out. So, CrossX Fighter, it's great to see you. Yes. How am I doing? I am doing great. I'm here with all of you. Family is, we're getting excited about Thanksgiving. So, today is a great day. But let's jump into business news because, our Level Up community, we like to keep you on top of all things business. And so we can't talk about business without talking about sort of the company, I would say, of the season, which for better or worse, is Twitter. So many of you know Twitter is now under the ownership of the richest world in the world, Elon Musk. Well, it's almost like this is like the God goodness, this is like the Kardashians and the Real Housewives and like Survivor and everything put into one blob, because sometimes I think you can't make this stuff up. We're going into Thanksgiving this week. You would think most companies would start to think about their employees and their customers and their clients and ways that they can be grateful to those who have, been important to them. But I think that's like that feeling doesn't really exist at Twitter this week. That maybe doesn't exist at Tesla either, maybe not at SpaceX either. I'm not sure. If you find out that they are, then definitely let me know. I'll be curious to hear. But here's the thing. So Twitter's systems, because they're losing so many of their employees, there was news this week that in fact, if you posted copyrighted material on Twitter in the past, this will be shut down really, really quick. Well, get this: the system that clamps down on you sharing copyrighted information on Twitter, that system doesn't even work, probably because they lost so many of their employees. So right now they're saying that Twitter is like the wild west here. In fact, people have been posting full-length versions of super popular TV shows and movies, including Avatar, and like it's just it just hasn't been taken down. I'm not sure if it's been taken down now. As of yesterday, when I updated this story, it was not taken down. So yeah, really, really interesting. What's going on Twitter? We don't know. But let's continue, because you didn't think that was all, right? That was happening on Twitter. Well, you've heard about this $8 per month Blue verified service, right? So, I'm verified on Twitter. But let me tell you, being verified on Twitter previously wasn't like the easiest thing. It wasn't like, okay, here I am, there for you. Because I contribute to Forbes, contribute to CNBC, had to provide, you know, identification. I think I even had to scan and include a copy of my passport or something, just to verify that I was who I was, and therefore I was able to get the blue check mark. But you heard Elon Musk saying this blue check mark, it should really go to more people. And if you pay $8 a month, he said that you would be able to receive your own blue verified check mark. Well, this was supposed to happen on November 29th. So there are already a lot of people who have already been paying their $8 now. So they've gotten their check mark and their verification. But I guess this big revamp on the verification program was supposed to happen on November 29th, which is next week. But now Elon says, once again, things are changing again. And now they're probably going to do a different color for organizations that want verification. And this whole thing is sort of put on hold for the moment. So right now, we don't know about the $8 per month. We don't know if this new verification program is coming and when it's coming. All we know is things are currently on hold. Now, why did it go on hold? Now, some of you know already, but if you didn't, then this is because there were many people who were impersonating other people or other companies just by paying that $8 a month. In fact, there was a user on Twitter that impersonated Eli Lilly, which is giant pharmaceutical company that obviously makes insulin as well as other drugs that a lot of people need for their medical needs. Well, somebody paid these $8 a month, got verified, pretended that they were Eli Lilly, and they said that they were excited to announce that insulin is now free. Now, insulin is a drug that a lot of people with diabetes do rely on to live on. My dad used it for years, but it's actually a very expensive drug. So the fact that someone pretended they were Eli Lilly and shared that this would be free, let's just say it really impacted Eli Lilly dramatically. Not only were they mad about this misinformation, but their stock price dropped dramatically after this false message was shared on Twitter. Now, it wasn't just Eli Lilly. Also, other companies such as AbbVie and other companies and other people. Let's just say this was a hot mess. And so people were very, very unhappy. Eli Lilly obviously is not in any shape or form interested in further advertising on Twitter. And a lot of brands are very, very concerned. This was Elon's grand idea to bring in some more revenue to pay for the very large acquisition that he made of Twitter. And let's just say this was a big flop. This sort of live test, impacted major companies who are publicly traded, and of course, other people as well. And people are very, very stressed about this whole thing. But I guess one of the positives is that the medical community certainly sort of showed just how expensive insulin is and how many people rely on it to live, children to adults, everybody in between. And just the very, very high price of insulin. So in some ways, maybe this will benefit those involved because um, experts are saying that some of these pharmaceutical companies are reconsidering finding ways that maybe they can reduce the cost of those who rely on these drugs. So now the official check mark rolled out. Now we don't know what's going to happen. Now more to see. Now, let's continue on Twitter drama because today is Twitter. Well, it's not Twitter drama, it's Thanksgiving week, but I want to share this with you because I think it's very interesting. Now, we know that Elon has already laid off a significant portion of their employees. So, Twitter has about 7,500 employees. He went ahead and laid off about half of them right away. And then now another about 1,200 full time employees also left. This was reported from the New York Times recently. Well, then what happened was Elon asked some of the employees to come back. And then, of course, he also asked those who decided to stay to commit to Twitter 2.0. And Twitter 2.0, he describes as somewhere where you got to be hardcore, he says, and that you need to be comfortable with working very large, very long hours at a very high intensity. Sounds intense. So this is Twitter 2.0. So if you're going to work there, no talk about increasing pay or anything like that. You're just going to have to work longer hours at much higher intensity. So anyhow, a lot of employees are no longer working at Twitter, but interesting enough, Twitter has continued to stay afloat, and you can still get on, you can still tweet, you can still read your messages. So I don't know, maybe there's a magical genie in the back running it, but it's kind of interesting to me. Now, what's interesting else that came out today is Robin Wheeler. Robin Wheeler is or was Twitter's global head of advertising sales. And well, she had handed in her resignation to Elon recently, but Elon Musk persuaded her to stay on the job because they really needed her services. Well, I guess he fired her now. He fired her once again. And the reason why he fired her is because she didn't want to let go more of the employees in her division. She said that they had already let go too many people and like she wasn't going to do it. No more layoffs. And Elon didn't like that. So he cut her and he replaced her with somebody else that's still at Twitter. So, yeah, just thought you would. I mean, you got to have something to discuss at the Thanksgiving table, right? So maybe if you like have nothing and you're not stuck and maybe you're with someone, one of your family members or somebody else, and you just get in that awkward situation where you don't know what to say to them, or maybe it's your table mate, the person to your right or your left, and you're like awkward, I don't know what to talk about. You can talk about Twitter and Elon Musk because now you know. Now you know, right? All right. So what I want to do, of course, is share something fun before we go into Thanksgiving holiday. And I want to credit Susan Puckett at CNN for this great article. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but if you didn't, no worries. I will share it with you. She put together an absolutely fabulous article about ways that you can really celebrate Thanksgiving to the full effect without so much waste. And of course, I think this is helpful not only for your wallet and the economy, but it's just a good thing to do. So one of the tips that this article shares is to consider making half as many dishes as you actually think that you need, because based on this article, the study shows that a third of the food here in the United States supply actually goes uneaten. This is according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So a lot of wasted food goes into landfills, and this is clogging up a lot of our local landfills. And as this food rots, it emits like bad gases like methane. And so this is like contributing to things such as global warming and carbon dioxide and lots of icky things that are not good for our planet. So instead, they're suggesting try to cut down on what you make. You might think you need a lot of food, but they have found that most people actually just enjoy being around the table, talking to loved ones and conversation. And food's kind of more of an like it's important, but you don't need as much of it. So better to create really great food than too much food. The other thing that this article talked about is to consider making the most of your turkey, right? So if you're going to be making a turkey, in my house, I'm making a duck, whatever you do, try to use all pieces of your meat and be really savvy about it. And they're saying like, even if like, you know, you're intimidating by making the entire turkey, then maybe just get like a piece of the turkey or like, certain cuts of the turkey and make a smaller dish and make it really flavorful and people will be very, very, very happy about it as well. The other thing they recommended too is, of course, after that, to make sandwiches and make soup, to do things like take advantage of the bones from the turkey and make broth with it later on. Try to like, repurpose your turkey as long as you can. And again, to save on money. And also it's just better for the environment as well. To be really, really savvy. I actually love these. These are things that I usually do every year, but it just reinforces how good this is. Now, this is one thing that I also learned from the article that I want to share with you that I actually didn't think of, but I love this. You know, they suggested instead of making salad for your Thanksgiving table, skip the salad because salad, which isn't eaten, gets kind of mushy and not so appetizing very, very quickly. Instead, they recommended using really sturdy vegetables, right? So they're talking probably like potatoes and like cauliflower and carrots and Brussels sprouts, cabbage, that type of stuff. And don't dress them up too much, meaning just really keep them really, really simple seasoning works best in this case. And that way, whatever's not eaten, then you can repurpose the next day. You can then add more unami and more seasoning and change it up. If it's just like simple salt and pepper, you can always add other sauces to make it even better for future meals. And they said to do the same thing with potatoes, like mashed potatoes or baked potatoes, like don't overdo it. And that way, whatever's not eaten can be continued on the rest of the week or frozen for another day. The author also talked about, using pieces of your turkey or whatnot and creating broth and then freezing the broth in your freezer to be used for another day or to make soup and all things. So I thought this was great. I love this. Let me know what you think. I'm seeing okay. Our Carlos is saying great article. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate. And Carlos is also saying um, reminds people that leftover meals such as turkey may last up to 5 days. 5 days in the fridge for sure, Carlos, but definitely, as you know, you can put this into the freezer for a much longer time. What I try to do actually at my house is we usually love left Thanksgiving leftovers. So the very next day, we bring all those containers out and we do at my house what we call heat and eat, which is basically we take out all the leftovers, put it on a table, and you basically make your own plate and then you heat it up in the microwave or the oven or whatever you want, and then you eat it. So you only like reheat what you're going to eat. So that's what in my household we call that heat and eat. We do heat and eat probably, once a week at least because it's kind of fun to eat up all the leftovers. But I hope this was helpful because I thought that was genius. And I think that's a great way to go into Thanksgiving, especially if you haven't started making your Thanksgiving meal yet. I know for many of us, myself included, this can be a very overwhelming, intimidating leap there, right? So think small. Don't worry about over making your Thanksgiving meal. Stick to the basics. And most important, remember, they're gonna be okay. If they're like really are a little bit hungry afterwards, you can always bring out dessert or bring out fruit. And actually, the author in the article actually said they like to save their energy making pies because they say the pies always get eaten completely and never goes wasted. So they rather spend energy on that, which, as we know, pies are generally less expensive than turkeys. Anyway, so with that, my friends, happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to come to you today and just tell you how much I appreciate you being here for my show and my team, my incredible team, incredible clients. We thank you so much for being a part of our lives. We couldn't do it without you, and we wouldn't have as much fun without you. And we certainly look forward to more episodes and more time together. And as a reminder, you're able to find full episodes of Level Up now on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Roku, Samsung, and many other places. And do check out Yes Factor with Winnie's Son, which can be found on Apple Podcasts or wherever you tune in. Do me a favor, take a moment to share the show with someone that you care about on social media, via email, with text, however you want to do it. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the alert button so you'll know every time that we go live. And be well. I will see you again next week. Take care now.